Welcome to this pick a pile. I'm Felicity. If you're new here, if you like my channel, you want to see more of the videos that I do, the readings that I do, then hit the subscribe button. Like this video if you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if these messages resonate. Let me know what pile you picked. I always love hearing from you guys when the messages resonate or just hearing from you in general, so feel free to comment below. If you are interested in checking out my mystery school, I am the founder of Into the Fire Mystery School. This is a beautiful space where I have a few offerings. I have a membership for women, which is a beautiful sacred space of sisterhood, of ritual, of women's circles, okay, spiritual teaching, spiritual learnings, but just really a beautiful space where you can come in and you can learn and receive what you want to receive, and then you can still go about and, live your daily life, which is also very important. It's very important to still go about and live, okay? Not just be stuck online. I'm always big on that. So it's a really beautiful sacred space in there. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. It's a month to month subscription. You can cancel at any time, so you can come in and try it, see how it is for you for a month, and see if you want to continue. But it's a gorgeous space in there. And the other thing I have also is I have a intuitive tarot course available. This is self-paced. There is so much in there, okay? Learning how to read tarot intuitively, but also the traditional meanings and the aspects traditionally, the archetypes as well, a lot about spiritual hygiene and how to connect with spirit. And plus I also have in there some meditations and channel meditations to help you as well through that course. That's also available. And I also have the Cancer Season workshop still available. I will have out soon the Leo season workshop that'll be out soon as well. So feel free to check all that out. The links are below. But moving into this pick a pile. So you pick the pile number 1, 2, or 3. So if you want to take a moment to close your eyes, okay? Put your hand on your heart, one on your belly. Take a few nice deep breaths. And just connect, okay, to yourself. And just whichever one stands out and you're drawn to the most. So pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Now you can feel free, by the way, to watch all of them, or if you feel really drawn to, more than one pile, then feel free to watch them as well. So feel free to watch more than one. But let's start with pile number 1. Okay. So pile number 1, I've already pulled a few cards here. I'll pull a couple more. A couple more. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I'm loving this. Okay, first of all, you guys are going through a metamorphosis. You're going through a rebirth. You're going through a complete evolution and change. For some of you, this could be your whole life is changing. For others, this could be an area of your life. This could be career related. This could be just a sense of your own identity even. It's like shedding something old, coming into something new. You could be going through a metamorphosis in your relationship, or maybe you've just gone through a bit of a metamorphosis and you're getting a very magnetic energy as you've stepped into this next version of yourself, into this new level of yourself. And as you're exploring this new territory, you're exuding a very magnetic energy. And this is bringing in a lot of opportunities for you, okay? New opportunities, new people, new opportunities to meet people as well. So if you're thinking on the romantic sense and you're wanting to meet like someone to be your life partner, or you're just wanting to date, you're going to find yourself being really magnetic and probably having a lot of people having their eyes on you, okay, a lot of attention. But this could also be in career where you're manifesting, and because you're got, again, you're eluding that beautiful magnetic energy. It's very Queen of Wands energy. You've got this beautiful magnetic energy, which is calling in these new opportunities, and people starting to notice your work, people starting to be like, hey, what's so-and-so up to? They look different. Like there's some sort of different there, but I can't put my finger on it, but it's your aura has just shifted. Like something's shifted. For some of you, it could just be that something has shifted and it's caused this new frequency you find yourself in, and you're illuminating this new energy that's really magnetic. Or for others of you, there has been like a really big metamorphosis, okay? But there's this energy of like, all eyes are on you, okay? All eyes are on you. Success, victory, things like that as well. Okay, I'm gonna get a couple more cards for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna grab one from here. Okay. Actually, no, I'm gonna grab one from the Gilded Reverie. I'm gonna do that. This is really exciting though, okay? If you want to, at the moment, feel free to like write down the new opportunities you want to experience. Like, what is it that you want to call in? What is it that you want to attract? Because you've got this very magnetic energy at the moment, so use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. Power number one, please. What do they need to know? Yeah, you know why, guys? Because you have cut it out. Like, you have cut out the poor habits, the poor routines, the people that weren't serving you. You've cut out your own sorts of toxicity. You've cut out other people's toxicity. It's like you're just not dealing with it anymore. Like I'm done with this. I'm done with my own BS. I'm done with that person's BS. Like, I'm actually just done keeping myself small. I'm ready to shine. I'm ready to show up. And this is like, I feel like for a lot of you, there is this dark cloud that is just dispersing, like it's leaving. It's like where you have felt maybe a little cloudy in the mind, uncertain, unsure, not sure of your next step, or how am I going to make this happen? It's like all of a sudden that cloudiness disappears and the light comes streaming in. And you get full clarity, you get an understanding. But there's also just there's been like a dark cloud, and the dark cloud is lifting. But that's what can happen when we go through a metamorphosis, right? When we go through a huge transformation, the phoenix rising, what happens is that we go into the depths of our own darkness, into our own underworld, okay, our inner world, and we navigate through shadows, we navigate through wounding, we navigate through sometimes the internal chaos, but also the external chaos as we see things stripping away, as we maybe experience betrayal. Sometimes we experience like something quite jarring on the outside that is like the catalyst for a huge transformation. And with that transformation, we spend a bit of time in that darkness. And you have to remember, darkness doesn't equal evil. It's not the same thing, okay? But it's like sitting in the shadows, sitting in our own darkness. And then it's befriending the shadow. It's understanding ourselves on a deeper level. And then through that experience, we begin to come out of that, sometimes quite slowly, sometimes it's quite the process, but as we come out of it, we'll never be the same again. It's like we are stripped bare, we are stripped naked, and we get so vulnerable, and then we come out of this born fresh, new. It's like just this complete rebirth, and you've stepped into someone so different. Like the core of who you are is always there. That core authentic self is always there, but you're stepping into this much more mature version of yourself. You're stepping into this much more confident version of yourself, and this is creating that really magnetic energy. So if you're in the middle of this, just know it's like you're going to come out of it. It's all good. You're going to come out of it. If you find yourself at the beginning stages of this, again, just allow yourself to take the process. I recommend reading like the story, so the mythology, the story of the descent of Inanna. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't get that out, but have a look at that. It's a really beautiful story, maybe one you might really resonate with. And then just like what has to go, has to go. So if there is still something that you are clinging on to or holding on to, and this could even be little elements of yourself that you know don't serve you, that are kind of hard to kick, you know, there's little habits that are hard to kick, let it go, okay? Because it's not serving you. And once you let it go, it's like there's new space and new energy for fresh new opportunities and beginnings to come in. So guys, I love this for you, okay? Absolutely love this for you, but that's pile number one. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments how that resonates with you. Okay, so pile number two. Let's get into pile number two. What have we got here? Okay. Okay, beautiful. Okay, first thing I'm going to say is it's time to be honest with yourself. Radical self-honesty. Okay, some self-reflection I feel could be really needed here, and is a sense of curiosity. So getting really curious as you go through a process of self-reflection, doing things like journaling could really help. But also just being really, really honest with maybe where you've been holding yourself back. Being really honest with maybe where you have been dimming your light, where you haven't really stepped into, like, where you haven't really claimed a space. Like, claim your space. There's room for everyone, guys. So claim your space. Get really honest with yourself. Get really honest with yourself. If you have a dream that you want to create, that you want to come into fruition and into reality, into your physical reality, become your reality. If you have something like that, you have to get really honest with yourself and ask yourself, am I really giving it my all? Am I really giving it my all, or am I only giving it some? And if the radical self-honesty, has the answer of, I'm not really giving it my all, I really could give it a lot more. Don't shame yourself for that. Don't put yourself down for that. Okay, watch how you speak to yourself. Just acknowledge it and go, okay, all right, well, let's come up with a plan. Like, what can I do here to make my dreams come true? What can I do here to make my ambitions into my physical reality? Like, what can I do? One good thing to focus on is the bigger picture. Okay, so looking at the end goal versus stressing about, like, well, how am I going to get there? It's like, there's the end goal. Okay, you've got the dream. This is how you would like it to look. Okay, be open to and flexible with how it will manifest, because it doesn't really, very rarely does it become the way we exactly see it or want it, but it always comes like in such a great, fantastic way, and it shows up amazingly. Okay, but focusing, like, that's like the bigger picture. So don't stress too much about, like, okay, well, but like, what will I do on step 5? It's like, hey, focus on step 1, then focus on step 2, then focus on step 3. So take one step at a time, but be ambitious. You can do this. You can make your dreams a reality. Focusing on the bigger picture. Okay, focusing on the big picture, focusing on the long journey, the long term of something, not instant gratification. Sometimes we give something our all and we don't get what we want, like we don't get the desired outcome we want, like, quickly. And so we can feel defeated and we can feel like, oh, what's the point? I'm going to give up. What's the point? I'm going to give up. And then sometimes people do, they just give up. But we have to be honest with ourselves and go, am I in this for the long haul, or am I really just looking for instant gratification? Be honest with yourself. Is this really what I want? Because it's going to take time to get there. There is a bigger picture here. It's going to unfold beautifully as I go along, and I'm going to experience magic as I go along. But am I committed to that long-term journey, to that long-term goal? Okay, to that long-term stability? Or am I really just after instant gratification? And because sometimes instant gratification comes from our beautiful, but at times not very helpful ego mind. Okay, and so it's getting really honest with ourselves, but not shaming. We're not shaming ourselves, we're just getting really honest with ourselves. So be honest with yourself. Okay. Okay, all right, let's see what else wants to come out here. Okay. Pile number 2, what do they need to know? What else do they need to know for pile number 2, please? Beautiful. We have the lilies. Now the lilies represent long-term, okay? They can represent a long-term commitment. So that can be a relationship, of course, love-related, but it can just be like long-term commitment with something. So this is in the Gilda Reverie. So again, it's just coming down to that long-term. What are you committed to, and are you really committed to it? And it's like, are you really truly doing everything that you can? Are you really putting in your all? That's a good way to look at it. And be really honest with yourself. Am I really giving it my all, or could I be doing more? And I don't mean doing more to the point that you're going to burn out. We don't want to do that. We do not want to fry our freaking nervous system, right? So it's not about doing that, but it's about being really honest and going, I kind of am more just doing the bare minimum, or just a bit more than bare minimum, but I really could give it more. Okay. And focusing on the bigger picture also means like looking at different ways that you can approach something. It's like taking a bird's eye view versus just looking straight ahead and being like, how am I going to get there? It's like, take a bird's eye view. Oh, okay, now I kind of see the path a little bit more. Okay, I can kind of see that I need to, you know, I could go that way, but I could also try this way. Now, in other words, it's like, look at different ways that you can approach something. Get curious on that. Curious. All right. Okay, dig deep, dig deep. And now our wishing well, right? We have the wishing well here. So, you know, it's like making a wish. It's our prayers and wishes. It's the wishing for something, which is nothing wrong with that. There's the praying for something, which is nothing wrong with that. But then it's asking ourselves, what am I doing to co-create this? What am I doing that is tangible to help this process and speed things along, or to move things along? We have to be honest with ourselves about that. But the wishing well too, you know, it also brings about the energy of going deep. Okay, so how do we get really honest with ourselves? Sometimes we got to dig a little deeper, and we've got to have a look at our own shadows, or look where we might be blocking ourselves, what stories we tell ourselves. Because I want to be clear, it's not that you're lazy. You're not lazy. So get that out of your mind. Okay, if it's there, remove that. There could be something here that is a belief that doesn't belong to you, that was put there by someone else. It's a belief you picked up on along the way. It could be past wounding. It could be something that is putting you into a procrastination, or not having you give something your all. And it could be the fear of failure, but it could also be the fear of success. Okay, so it's getting curious on that and having a look at, okay, what needs to be let go? What needs to be moved out of my life? What needs to be moved out of the way that I approach things? What isn't working, and how, what isn't working, and what can I replace it with or try that could potentially work here? And sometimes that it's like, as we follow our dreams, as we are really ambitious in something, it's like we have to be in it for the long haul, like in it for the long game. Okay. Because otherwise you will burn out, right? You have to really love something and then to really go for it. But you guys can do it. You guys can do it. Dig a little deeper, okay? Get really honest with yourself. Look at the bigger picture. But it's like the message here from Spirit is like, look, get honest with yourself, because if you're feeling in a bit of a rut and like it's not happening, nothing's working out for me, it's like, hey, well, get honest with yourself. Like what are you doing that is contributing to this, and can you do more, or what might need to shift, what might need to change, what changes may you need to make in order for things to move again and to see momentum. Okay, it's like the little habits you do every single day. Are they serving you? Are they helping you? Are they getting you to that end goal? Are they getting you closer to your dreams or further away? How you do anything is how you do everything. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, pile number 2, I send you love. Yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know below on how that message resonates with you. Okay, pile number 3. Let's get into it for you guys. I've already pulled a few cards. I'll grab a couple more. Okay. Okay, there's a couple of messages coming through here for pile number 3. So the first one is around connections. So this could be very platonic friendship that is like a real soul connection, but it's platonic. It could also be romantic, okay? So it could be the beginning stages of a relationship, or it could be that you've been in a relationship for a while. But there is something that needs to shift and something that needs to change. If you're wanting to find yourself in a relationship, okay, if you're like wanting to meet someone, if you're wanting to call in a connection, there might be some fear around that. So like, what fears do you have? What shadows are showing up for you? What patterns are showing up for you in regards to relationship? And also having a look at your connections is like, is this serving me? Is this connection really serving me, or do I need to move forward from this? Or am I, this connection is serving me, but I just have fear around opening up my heart. I have fear around deeper intimacy, and that's where it's some shadow work might need to be done in order for you to just move forward fiercely in the connection and have a really open heart, and kind of removing any of that hypervigilance, or because hypervigilance is a blessing and a curse. I have hypervigilance. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. So if you got it, you'll probably know what I mean with that. But if you have some hypervigilance, or you are just feeling you're just having some fear, okay? You're just having some fear about going into deeper intimacy and really letting someone in, maybe because you've been hurt in the past, maybe because you had a certain type of relationship with a caregiver that wasn't, the most beneficial and healthy growing up. So it's really nourishing the shadow and not demonizing the shadow, not trying to push the shadow away. And what I mean by that is the pattern, the behavior, the reaction, the habit, okay, as well, that shows up, like past wounding that shows up and presents itself in your physical reality, and it keeps coming up for you, or you notice a pattern of it. Don't push it away. We want to nourish it, meaning that we want to explore it. We want to be like, okay, what's going on? Like, I see you're a little thirsty, you want my attention, here's some water, okay? Drink some water, let me know what's up, like, what is this about? It's getting curious with the shadow, and then alchemizing that, okay? Moving the shadow into the light, meaning moving the shadow from its lower frequency into its higher frequency, okay? From the restricted and from the collapsed version into the liberated version and the open version. So that's something that's coming through there around connection. If you're in a relationship and you're experiencing, a little bit of a difficult time, it's just a matter of like, are you both willing to do the individual work, but also the work within the relationship that's required in order to shift it, okay? And in order for it to shift out of one pattern and one cycle into a brand new one that's a lot healthier and a lot more nourishing and a lot more fulfillment in it. If you're both willing to do that, and it's not like you're doing it for the other person, you really want to also do it for yourself, then that will work, work at that. If there's only one of you who really wants to do it and someone else is like, okay, yeah, fine, I'll do it, and they kind of drag their feet along with it, it's not going to work. You're going to eventually just go your separate ways. So you might know yourself, I need to really move forward from this, and I got some fears around leaving this connection. Maybe it's a friendship too, okay, it doesn't have to be romantic. Maybe it's a business partnership, something like that, but it's like you need to move on from it, and you need to work through your fears around that. And you can tell yourself, like, I can do this, everything's going to be okay. I have the support of the universe, I have the support of other really good friends, of community. Okay, if you don't, then definitely find that. Okay, you might have the support of a therapist, you might have the support of a mentor, of course, like spirit as well. Okay, your higher self too. Now, the other message coming through here is also around the connection that you have to your higher self, the connection that you have to the soul, and really communicating with this connection, reconnecting or connecting further with this element of yourself, okay, with this essence of yourself, and connecting to that consciousness. And I going into a deeper understanding, getting a vision of your next version, getting a vision of the next part of your evolution, and taking the steps that are required to get there, that might bring about some fear, that might bring about some shadows coming up, that might bring about some negative self-talk or whatever it is. And so it's getting, again, really curious with those shadows and moving forward fearlessly, okay, and knowing that you can do it, and you've got the guidance there of your soul. Spirit is great for guidance, okay, fantastic. But there is no better guidance than your own damn soul, okay? Like that is your biggest ally. And so build that connection first. Have that connection be really strong. That is going to be your best ally through life, especially when making difficult decisions or difficult transitions or big moves that feel a little scary, okay? So that's the message that's coming through there as well. Okay, I'm going to get a couple of cards here, a couple of extra cards for pile number 3. Don't rob yourself of something magical. I just heard that. Don't rob yourself of something magical. And don't let someone else rob you of something magical either, all right? Like, don't stay in a friendship or a situation with someone, connection with someone that is keeping you small, keeping you stuck, not allowing you to express your full authentic self, because you're literally not allowed to in that space. You are put down if you express all of who you are. Those are not your people. Those are not your connections, whether it's platonic, business, or whether it is love, okay? It doesn't matter. It's like, those are not your people. Go and find your people. But in order to find your people and to have new people come in, you got to release those situations, okay? And then have a look too at the shadow of, like, why do I allow this? Why don't I speak up for myself? Why do I dim my light? Like, and if you don't know exactly where it comes from, don't stress, but it's just having the acknowledgement or the awareness that, hey, I do dim my light, or I don't really speak my truth. I don't speak up for myself. And then take the steps and learn on how to do that. And really how you do that is you build self-worth and you build a lot of self-confidence, and that takes time, okay? But it's like pushing through the comfort zone, pushing through your comfort levels to a point. You can take it slow, and it's like trusting yourself too, because when you make decisions, like when you trust yourself and you trust your intuition, you make a decision, okay? No matter if you've got some fear around it, but you just have a deep knowing, that's how you build self-trust, okay? How else you build self-trust is to do what you say you're going to do. So if you say you're going to do something, you do it. That builds self-trust as well. But don't rob yourself of something magical. That, again, could be that might be collaborating with someone, but you got fears around it because you think you're not going to be good enough, or it's like, oh, what can I really bring to the table? Or, relationship, I don't know, I'm kind of scared to open up again. I don't know if I can really go deeper into intimacy. Don't rob yourself of something so freaking magical, okay? One more, please. Open up. Open up. Close a chapter and close a book on something that does not work anymore. Like, again, I'm just going to say that one more time. Like, just close it out. Say goodbye to it. Easier said than done, I know, but you can do it, okay? Use your discernment, you know if that's for you or not. But the other part is open up more, okay? It's like, be an open book. And I don't mean be an open book to just anyone. You don't owe just anyone your story, okay? Not everyone has deserved the right to hear your story. But be an open book to those that you feel that, do deserve that you're getting to know someone new, and with time you start to trust them more, and you're like, yeah, I feel like I can share a bit more, go a little bit deeper. It's not about, sharing it all at once in the first meeting, okay? Because you'll be mindful, like sometimes that stuff can be used against you. Some people are really quite manipulative, so it's just, use your discernment, be mindful, trust yourself above all else. But it's just, yeah, like be an open book and share slowly, but don't close yourself off, okay? It's also time to write a new chapter, okay? It's time to write a new chapter. And that can be even like a new book, where you're starting, and yeah, a new book where you're the main character. Okay, so living life like that, like you're the main character, and write a story from that. And by that I mean create your life from that space. But move forward fiercely. Like you got this. You got this. Okay. All right, beautiful soul. I hope that resonates. If it does, let me know below, and I send you so much love. That is now the conclusion of the pick a pile. I will be back on here soon and with more messages from Spirit, but I send you guys so much love.